Jason,
Let go.
I'm gonna drop you right now.
Let go. No, you're not. Let go. Oh, shit.
Today's video takes us to Fresno, California. Now, most breakdowns, we usually define what is lawful and what is not. But we're here to dig a little deeper than that, to invoke thought and to create a conversation. I'm Sean Tyree. Welcome to Fast Life. So before we start the video, here's a brief synopsis of what took place that led to the incident at hand. So officers were patrolling the area where an officer observed two individuals, most likely transit or homeless, which led to the contact. Upon exiting his vehicle, he contacted one male. Although he gave a false identity, the officer realized who he was from prior incidents and knew the male to be on post-release community service. Now, for those that aren't familiar with post-release, normally post-release, the information that you have for the individual, they usually have stipulations or restrictions, as you would say, restrictions on not being in high crime areas, can't have alcohol or drugs on a person, or use alcohol and or drugs. And usually upon a stop, they are to give their identity without question. So the officer knew this incident or knew of this male, and this is what led to the incidents that you'll see, and we'll get the video started.
I'll be out with two next to the hamburger place. What's up, bud?
How's it going?
Good. What's your name again?
Jason
Jason.
Nicholson.
Behind Ma's Hamburger, Clinton and West. Jason.
Yeah.
Do me a favor. Go ahead, put your hands behind the back.
Huh?
Jason.
No.
Jason, we're...
So this is where officer safety comes in. And this is California, Fresno, California. Most agencies, or some agencies, they ride two-man, and a lot of agencies across the states, they ride singles, right? Where usually singles, meaning that you have more bodies to count and more areas to patrol. That's the reason why if you have two-man, usually it means pretty good staffing, or it's a high crime area and it's best to have two people in a car rather than one. But if you have a situation where you are riding singles, this right here is officer safety. One, you know that you're going out with two people. You're possibly going to have two contacts. You're already outnumbered 2-1. Horrible situation to be in. Understand the bravado, right? You can handle any situation, but you always have to think about officer safety. So don't put yourself in that situation if you don't have to. And if you see this, if you notice here where he automatically identifies the male, he knows who he is. So officers, if you know you're going to have this situation where you know without a doubt that you're going to end up taking this individual into custody, why not just shoot the crap with them, right? Just BS with them until your backup arrives. Before you go hands-on, make sure you have two officers there, right? Because you want to have that contact and cover. You don't want to end up being both contact and cover if you can avoid it. So for something like this, if you know it's going to be a fight or flight situation, why not wait? There's no pressing situation. You're getting that person's information. You know they're lying to you. Go with the lie. Play along with it until your backup arrives. Then go hands-on because you want that safety factor.
Please stop.
Jason,
look,
I will tase you.
Don't.
Jason,
I don't.
I'm not asking.
I'm not on parole or nothing.
Jason.
I'm not on parole. I'm not on parole.
Jason.
Stop.
Jason.
Stop.
Stop.
Stop, man.
Jason.
Stop.
I'm gonna dump you, bro.
Dude, stop.
Jason. Hey, what are you doing?
Stop, man.
Jason.
Stop. Let go, man. Let go.
Jason.
Let go of me.
Jason.
Let go of me.
Jason.
Let go.
I'm gonna drop you right now.
Let go. No, you're not. Let go. Oh, shit.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
So if you saw there, this is one of the issues I have with trying to go solo, pretty much taking someone into custody for that very reason. The reason why I said safety factor or a safety risk. Now, if you remember from my earlier video, all right, you'll see a clip here where I talked about handcuffing and officers getting too caught up with only covering one half of the body, right? So when you try to grab one limb, or they end up trying to gooseneck it, where you take the wrist, if you can see my hand here, and you rotate it, right? So when you get that gooseneck, is what you're trying to do when you get paying compliance. But what the issue is with that, if you don't have another officer with you, you're only covering one half of the body, meaning the opposite half that you can't see becomes a high risk, either for a firearm, which you just saw here, or a knife, which you'll see in my other video. What I mean by focusing on one half, you create that blind spot to prevent you from seeing what the other person is doing, because you're so close up and you're so into it, you're going to miss all the movements that you may see as if you're in front of them with a bigger picture.
I got him up here. How's it going, man?
Pretty good.
You know I'm here?
No.
You know you got a warrant for your arrest, Tyler?
For what?
For failure to appear to court.
Look!
500 shots fired! Shots fired! Sorry, I'm bleeding!
So if you saw that video, that's what I mean by that, all right? That creating that blind spot if you only focus on one half, which creates a danger, and it's always best to have two people with you.
Let's go.
Oh, shit. Shots fired. Shots fired. It's going to be Nicholas. Jason. Give us the air. Give us units now. Shots fired. Give us the air. We got one at gunpoint to the north. Back alley.
Show me your fucking hand!
Jason! Go, Jason Nicholson. Jason! Put the gun down now!
Put it down!
Now, Jason!
Wait a minute, the alleyway, the parking lot, in the back alley.
Put the gun down! You want a cigarette, boss?
Yeah.
Okay, come out here, boss. We don't want to hurt you. Where's the gun?
I have it.
Jason, put the gun down, please. Jason, it doesn't have to go this way, boss. Jason, put the gun down. Please. Please put the gun down.
And I do want to say, if you see the officer's position, it's still a good position. So if you see my cursor here, this is where you're going to end up. He's utilizing the pillars, right? Which you look like it's going to be the rear of the truck. So we'll say the C and D pillars. If these are the rear bed of the truck. So if you see right here, my cursor, all right, these are what you're saying pillars. Because normally if you have 4 doors, you have 4 pillars on a vehicle. And the pillars are right here, almost like the door hinges right there when they close. Because if you have a firearm and you're shooting through something, if you've ever shot, it doesn't matter, from 9mm, even sometimes a 22 can go through a door. All right. But if you have that pillars, which allows to either ricochet or slow the bullets down, it provides more of a cover for the officer. All right. Or which you would say concealment in a sense for the officer there. So him utilizing the pillars while trying to maintain trying to maintain that field of view or vision of where the suspect may be in case he has to unload his firearm even more so. So when you see that pause right there, that's the officer utilizing the pillars to the best of his ability, and it's a good job, good position.
Jason, put the gun down. Please. Please put the gun down. No, we don't have time for that, Jason. Can you put the gun down, please? Baker 2-3, put a note in the call that he's lighting up a meth pipe.
Just straight to alley, hands up, perfect.
This way.
Just straight out.
That way.
Just keep your hands where officers can see them. Someone will contact you. Unlock them on the side. Okay, you got them? Okay, sure. Hands up. Hey, Brad, just keep them where they can see them.
Hey, you guys are off. You guys are off.
Hey.
So if you notice that you guys are off, meaning run the risk of crossfire, allow the contact team either to make approach. If they end up having to fire their firearm, that means to the other people to stand down because you don't want that risk of crossfire.
You guys are off. Hey.
You guys are off. They're off.
As you can see, they end up taking the suspect into custody. Now, luckily, as you can see, the officer did get fired upon, and the round that the suspect ended up firing narrowly missed the officer's head. So it turns out, from the viewpoint of the officer or his partner there that just arrived as the altercation was starting, when the firearm went off, you could see his hat from the primary officer there. His hat flew off his head. And from the description of what the officer stated, that he felt the bullet or the graze or the force from the round that was firing, he felt that pass through as his hat was being knocked off. Now, as he fired his firearm, still staying engaged, staying in the game, right? You're never done until the Lord calls you home. So he stayed in the fight. And when he fired his round, it ended up striking the suspect's thigh. So the suspect did receive injury from the gunshot wound, end up taking him into custody, where he's transported to the hospital and more than likely taken to jail. Now, we're going to go back to the video. Remember what I said before, safety matters, right? So when you get these situations where the officer, you're going out with two, you automatically know that you identify a person that you're more than likely going to be taken into custody. There's no harm in waiting for your backup. Wait for your officer, right? Wait for your backup to get there. That way, if you see him leaving, maybe go hands on, but it doesn't seem like he was leaving. Start BSing. This is where that verbal judo, right, that we all learn, meaning officers, when you go to the academy, learning how to talk with people until you know your backup arrives where you can effectively go 2-on-1 rather than 1-on-1. And luckily, the other person that was nearby then create a 2-on-1 type of situation that puts the officer's life more in danger. Imagine just that couple extra 30 seconds or that minute of just having that conversation. Even if you know that the person is lying, go with it. You know the truth and you know that they're lying. Go with it. Oh, okay. Oh, Nichols. Okay. Oh, man, Nichols, have you been around these parts before? Any type of how you want to do the conversation, right? Because you can immediately see that fight or flight. You want to catch them off guard. So that fight or flight is a little bit more at ease. But once you start going hands on, you see the eyes start moving, right? That tells you or indication that they're not going to go willingly. You see the left and right look or that looking past you, seeing which direction they can go. That's the fight or flight. That means they're more likely going to run. Either or, they're going to fight you in order to escape. But they're always looking for that avenue of escape. When you see the head and the eyes move left and right in different directions, that's the fight or flight mode, especially when they know they're going to jail. So just like you saw in my video clip, where I say some of the issues are when you go hands-on and you focus on one limb of the body, you end up creating a blind spot for yourself. And a lot of officers do that because normally that's what you're taught, right? You grab one arm, you're twisting. If you can see it right here, you grab one arm, you twist it. This is where you call a gooseneck, right? It just creates that break. So that way, if they flex the wrong way, you can end up twisting the wrist for pain compliance. May end up breaking it, but you're giving warnings for that. But this is what creates people off balance. But if you don't have, or if you're doing it half-ass in a sense, and you're here and you're slowly and you're not really getting that good grip, you're allowing people to have those movements or the furtive movements. And when they're doing that, that creates that blind spot because you only focus on one half of the body, and it creates that opening for the other half because you don't know if they're reaching for something. What I say before, most instances where people have a weapon, knife or a firearm or even a blunt object or tool, it's going to be either in the waistband or somewhere they can easily grab it, a right pocket, left pocket, anything of that nature where it can be easily accessed. So if you're going to create that blind spot and you know you're going to go hands-on, you have the warning. Hey, stop fighting a force to be used. He already said, hey, you're going to get dumped, or I'm going to end up dumping you to the ground. You gave those warnings. If you're going to do it, do it. Yeah, the resistance is already there. When the pulling away, the no man, what you call that? It's aggressive. If you saw my earlier videos, I keep saying aggressive, the tensing of the muscles of the arms and the legs, refusing to be handcuffed, what you call compliant cuffing. When you refuse that, that's resisting. You already gave a warning. Hey, you're going to get dumped. Hey, you're going to get tased. You're not going to use your taser in this instance. You're too close unless you're going to create separation. But you already got both hands on. Dump them down to the ground. This is where, if you know judo or anything like that, some good sweeps, rather than trying to do a double leg takedown or something like that, you can sweep them down to the ground. That way you're still upright and you'll get a good field of view of their entire body as they're being tossed to the ground. Now, if he's reaching for something, you can back away, create distance, grab your firearm, or you're already engaging and making sure that both arms are tied up. I wouldn't recommend that all the time, but for something like this, if you know they're fighting, sweep, toss them down to the ground. That way, give you a good field of vision, right? If you know they're going to reach for something. Or best practice, when able, if it's not something that has to be pushed or active, wait for your backup to get there. So once again, complete blessing that this officer didn't lose his life in the field of duty while trying to simply effect an arrest. And although the suspect was shot, he did survive. And more than likely, definitely he's going to get charged. And if he is a felon in possession of a firearm, it may be even higher. That's if that state charges with that. Got to remember, they're in California. It's always a toss-up. With politics, it's always a toss-up with that. And depending on the state you're in. So with that being said, if you're law enforcement of old, law enforcement of new, or even the general public, if you learned anything from this video, drop a like in the comment below. And like always, Jesus is the light of the way.